do. I love it.
So, in order for our curious listeners and any of your fans and followers want to follow up with you and keep up with you, can you mention your website information and your social media pages as well?
Yeah, sure. So my website, it's Zenlarge, Zenlarge, like Zen and the word large, .co. So it's not .com, it's .co. And right now that just goes to my Bandcamp page. But I'm going to build a website so that it'll go to my, a more of a traditional website for an artist, right?
Hmm.
With that pretty soon. But that goes to my Bandcamp page, and you can hear some of my music there. My YouTube channel is probably better in that it has all my music. So on Bandcamp, I just put my original stuff.
Okay.
Where on YouTube, I have my originals, I have my covers, and of course, there's videos of me performing this stuff live. So it's for the Linnstrument, it's kind of cool to see it perform live because most people,
Yeah.
you know, you don't get really a feel for what it is. You're like, oh, this music sounds cool, but when you see it, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. So if you go
Mhm.
to my YouTube channel, it's just Zenlarge. If you search for Zenlarge on YouTube, I should come right up. And then you'll also
Mhm.
see on there I have a vlog that I do on personal
Yeah.
development, growth. It's all about living the Zen life. I call it the Zenlarge Show, and so it's
Mhm.
all under my YouTube channel, the Zenlarge Show. I give people tips and tricks on how they can have that Zen life and how they can, walk through a firestorm, calm, cool, and collected, and not let the rest of the world dictate what their life is be. They
Right.
choose what their path is going to be. So that's what the Zen Large Show is all about, and that's there. So just search for Zen Large on YouTube. If you search for Zen Large on Facebook, is another good one. I'll come right up. My Twitter handle, I'm not real active on Twitter. I'll occasionally post a video or something, um, but if that's what you go to, I'm the Zen Large. So the word the Zen Large.
Okay.
That's my handle on Twitter, so that also works as well.
And how many pages you have on Facebook? One or two?
Well, I have too. So, like I said, I love personal development, and I had a podcast going called Choice Conversations for years. I started in 2013, and so I think I have over 200 episodes of Choice Conversations, or if not, it's close.
Wow.
And that is so. I have a Choice Conversations page on Facebook, but basically what I did is I took Choice Conversations and rebranded it as the Sen Large Show. So it
Okay.
also, if you prefer listening to podcasts, you don't want to see the video, you could also just any kind of app on your phone will take you, any that you would normally listen to a podcast on, iTunes, Stitcher, whatever. I mean, there's a million podcast apps. Um, they will, they all have. If you just search for Zen Large Show, it should come up. And then if you scroll back far enough, I mean, I think I maybe only have 15 or 20 Zen Large Show episodes. But before that, you'll see there's a whole bunch more before that, and that's actually the Choice Conversation stuff. So if you go on Facebook and do a search for Choice Conversations, my page will come up. But if you go there, the banner says Zen Large, even though the name of it it says Zen Large Show, because it's been rebranded as that. But there's no real way on Facebook to change the name, so it's still there for that.
All right. And thank you for all that information. Wow. So,
Yep.
Zen Large, what is your motivation to keep you going, to keep doing your music?
Sure, sure. So for me, I mean, one thing, the music in itself is just a joy. It's an expression of myself, of my true self, of my soul. When I perform, I just feel like all my troubles melt away, right? And I just have this joy overcome me. And it's the same way with dance too. I love dancing. I find it just to be
Mm.
such an expression of joy to dance. And sometimes you can do it together, right? And not when I'm playing a simple
Mm.
instrument, I can just kind of bounce a little bit and groove. I'm pretty much standing still. But when doing vocals, this is I can move all around and get down while I'm singing. So that's pretty cool. But it's a joy in itself. But I also, when I look at what my purpose is in this world, it really comes down to to grow as a person and to help others grow.
Right.
And I look at my music as a way to try to reach other people and through the songs themselves have a little bit of a personal development message to them, right? But also to direct them, to help them to come over to the Zenlarge show and get some relief there, right? I mean, because so many people are suffering, and what I've discovered on my own journey is that this suffering, we're doing it to ourselves. The suffering, people have these thoughts that they're torturing themselves.
Yeah.
And it's they have the power to take that away. So an example of that would be something like you hear about people having an inner critic. So many people beat themselves up all the time. I'm no good, or I'm an idiot. Why did I do that? What's wrong with me? That's just one example. There's all kinds of flavors of how people torture themselves and how people are suffering from their own thoughts. But that's one that people will recognize right away, just because that's everybody's heard of an inner critic. And when if I can help people to see that it doesn't have to be like that, you can change your thoughts. You can take control of your life, your thoughts. You can take control of your happiness. You can live a life free of suffering, or at least minimized. You probably can't get rid of suffering 100%, and I don't know that I want to, but you can certainly not have it be just a regular state of being, right? So many people are locked into that's just their normal state, is their suffering day in and day out, where that should be abnormal. That should be something comes up, maybe you lose a loved one, you suffer, you grieve that loss, and then you move on, right?
Yeah.
But people don't know how to grieve that loss. People don't know how to deal with an inner critic. People don't know how to heal these psychological wounds that they have. They don't know how to stop the voices in their head. And so if I can help others to grow like I have helped myself, that would be amazing. And the awesome thing, Brenda, and I discovered this long ago with Choice Conversations, is the more I'd help other people, the more they would be teaching me stuff, and I would grow myself. So we're together by helping other people grow. It helps me to grow, and plus it's so fulfilling to help others. Through the years, like I said, I've been doing this for 7 years now, putting out content on personal development. And I've had so many people tell me, thank you so much, you really helped me out. And that really spoke to me. And they've given me their stories of success, and it just makes you feel, like you're 10 feet tall. My heart just warms when people share these stories with me, and it's just I can't think of anything more fulfilling than helping other people. So that's a big inspiration for me. I'm like, hey, personal development is not really a big field. If you look at book sales and stuff like that, personal development, I mean, yeah, thousands of them sell, but they don't sell anything compared to the what fiction writers sell, right?
Yeah.
And they don't sell anything like what music, like people are way more into music than they are in personal development. Personal development is really small, where just about everybody likes music. I mean, there are some weird people out there that don't like music. I don't understand these people, but but they exist. And but almost everybody likes music. So I'm like, hey, if this could be a vehicle for me to help other people see that they can better themselves, then I've got to try to make that happen, right? And I would like nothing more than to help as many people as possible while I've got my time here on this planet, right? So that's what really motivates me.
All right. Well, thank you for that information. That is amazing.
Oh, you're welcome.
That is amazing. So what is that ultimate desire which you wish your fans to get out of your music, out of these 2 new singles?
Sure. So the second one we're going to play here pretty soon is called Two Worlds, and it's really about gratitude and appreciating what you have, as well as seeing that we all have some common things in our life, right? So the song Two Worlds is coming up. I wrote it with a young gentleman. He goes by the name of Balls. He's out of Nigeria, 8 years old.
Wow.
And he such a cool kid, and from a great family. He's just super respectful. He's always like, thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
My regards to you and your family. That sort of thing is like the most respectful 8-year-old you ever, most respectful regardless of age. Probably one of the most respectful persons I've ever met in my life. and I've gotten to know his family as well on Facebook, and they're just all really really great family he comes from. And so, he asked me if we could collaborate, and I said sure, yeah, let's do it. And I said, what about this? I've got this idea for a song called Two Worlds, and I could talk about how my world, where I'm a guy living the American dream, and I've got this job, wife, kids, a house in the suburbs, all this kind of stuff, right? And but meanwhile, I'm surrounded by people that don't appreciate what they have.
Yeah.
And they think, and they basically are just complaining about stuff all the time. And you got to remember, I wrote this before COVID. People have a little more reason to complain now than what they did a couple months ago.
Right.
At the time, I wrote this in January, and it was still like the world was still spinning on its axis at that time. We weren't living in crazy land. And I was like, and you can talk about what your world is like. And I was going to leave it up to him, but I was thinking, you've got you're 8 years old. You have a struggle with your parents, maybe at school. You like to play video games or go play soccer with your friends or whatever it is they do in Africa, right? And but I was left up to him, and he's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do this, and he was so excited about it. It was just like a couple days later, he sent me back. Here's my lyrics, and he just did a quick recording on his phone and sent it to me.
Okay.
And it's just super powerful lyrics of like just this, heartbreaking world he presents. Where it's like just one of the lines he says in there is like, no hope in my world, no hope, love, joy in my world, and it's just really powerful of how Americans have it good, right? Most Americans don't realize that they're rich. Compared to other people in the world, they're rich. Like the poor people in America are rich. The poor people in America still have a house over their head. They got a roof over their head. They've got electricity, running water, clean water. They got food. They got TVs. They got microwaves. There's plenty of places in the world where if you have that stuff, you're rich. You don't. The places where they don't have that. I mean, I went to Peru in the mountains last May and found these little villages of these people that were still living the same kind of life that their ancestors lived before Europeans came to South America. And to give you an example, they invited me and my family into their home. This one family, it was a stone hut with a dirt floor, no electricity, no running water. They 7 people living in a one-room hut. 7 people in a one-room hut.
7 people.
And, and they and they were happy living there. But it's like you look at what we have, and people don't realize that you actually have it really good. If you're an American, you're we're such a wealthy country, and people that haven't gotten out and travel may not realize that. They might hear it, but they don't really understand just how that is. So that was one of that was like the inspiration behind the song, is to like point out, hey, you've got it good. Appreciate what you have, right? That's one of the big messages in the song. And then another one is just that we're all the same in some ways. We all need the same things. In addition to like food and shelter and that sort of thing, right? We also need love and connection. We need respect. We need there's just so many different things in that way that people that you can relate to somebody living in Lagos, Nigeria, because they need the same things you need. It's just their world might look a lot different than yours, but we all need the same things. So that was one, the two messages I wanted to put together in Two Worlds, and I put it together recently, and hopefully the listeners will see that when you play it here in a few minutes.
All right, and thank you for that information. We're almost coming to a close to our showcase. You're more than welcome right now to give a shout out to all the persons that have supported you in your music career. Go right ahead, Zenlarge.
Oh, thanks, Brenda. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. Your show's great. Your Facebook community is great. So people have listened to this. If you're just listening to the show, you're missing out, because she's got great content on her Facebook group. Lots of great music is shared there. Really supporting community, and a lot of good personal development kind of stuff, positive messages to help us, especially right now. We need positive messages to keep our attitude where we want it